Right now, there is not a time for peace for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, because we are still held captive under our oppressors here in America, and to and fro across the all face of the earth. Right now, it's a time for war.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 1. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven.
Right, meaning there's a time and a place for everything on the earth, right? Everything has a purpose. Everything has a time when it sprouts, right? Keep going.
Verse 2, a time to be born, and a time to die.
Right, everybody on the face of the earth had a time when we had to be born. Did the doctors not say, well, you know, I think he'll be born November the 26th? You know, it's just an estimate. But at least you have a time to come out of your mother's womb after those 9 months are up. It's a time to be born. It's a time to also die. It's a time where you must stop living, right? Keep reading.
Verse 2, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted.
What is this saying? This is saying, well, it is a time to plant, meaning, right, well, farmers, when they have a farm, do they not go out in their gardens and plant in certain seasons? And then when it's a certain season, they have to pluck up which is planted, right? If you go and plant watermelon seeds, you only got a short amount of time before the watermelons are not ripe anymore. You got a short amount of time that you got to go and pick those potatoes, pick those collard greens. Am I not lying? Am I not telling the truth? I mean, farmers have to go through these things when they perform agricultural works, right? It's a time that you have to pick up something which you've already planted. You have to pluck it up out of the ground, right? You have to harvest this, because if not, you will not be able to eat it, right? Keep reading.
Verse 3, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up. A time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh.
A time to weep meaning what? You have a time where you can cry. You have a time where you can laugh. Keep reading.
A time to mourn and a time to dance.
Right, if your family member dies and you go to the funeral, you can mourn. It's no specific time. It might be months that you're mourning over the death of your loved ones. You have a time to mourn. It's a time to weep, right?
A time to mourn and a time to dance. Verse 8, a time to love and a time to hate. A time of war and a time of peace.
A time of war and a time of peace. Right now is a high time that you understand that right now it's a time of war. And World War III is brewing. All these other nations are waking up their mighty men because it's a time of war. The season and the spirit of war and warfare is imminent throughout the earth. And there is no peace right now. Right now there is not a time for peace for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, because we are still held captive under our oppressors here in America, and to and fro across the all face of the earth. Right now, it's a time for war. But what do I mean by this war? It's for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Not a physical war, a spiritual war. So right now, you got to get your spirit right while you're here in this captivity. That's what you have to do. And how do you do that? Well, you listen to the men in the ISUPK under commanding General Yohanan. Because since 1969, they have been educating men to get their spirit right while we're here in this captivity. And right now, what you're seeing right here is the brink of what? The kingdom of heaven. This brotherhood. That's what you're seeing. Because we're getting our spirit right here in this captivity so we understand the signs. So we can be good husbands to our wives. Be good fathers to our children. Be upstanding citizens and righteous men according to God. And you have to get your spirit right in order to do that. Because how long have we been listening to the Christian church and the Islamic faith and the Muslim mosque and following their ways? We haven't got it right. I mean, according to the world, you're not an upstanding citizen, and you're dang sure is not a righteous man according to God.
That's
because
right.
you do not follow the law, statutes, and commandments. You do not keep the high holy days. You do not show brotherhood. You don't love your women. You don't love your brothers because you're sleeping with their ribs. You're selling drugs to somebody's aunties and somebody's daughters. You're touching on their kids and stuff.
Damn.
You don't love yourself and you don't love your nation.
That's right.
But as for us, we come out here to educate you that you must show love.
What?
That life that you have been living for 30, 40, 50 years, that life that you built up is not the life God wants you to live. That right there is not righteous. I know we sit here every day and we're living in America and we think that we're so righteous. We think we're good. But let me tell you something, Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man. That man that you have created must be destroyed.
Right.
You must destroy that spirit that you have made here in America. Because that man is unholy. That man is unfit to inherit the kingdom of heaven. And he must go.
All jokes aside, you know how niggas be like, I'm this and that for life. This and that for life.
You don't receive her what? Her plan! In the ISUPK, we ain't worried about the coronavirus. How many of us do you see with masks on? Right! How many of us do you see out here afraid with gloves on?
140 for the rebel.
The world turned its back on me. I'm a cripple. We got soldiers, he got soldiers, but I got
Don't
different
sit here and talk
ones.
shit like what's gonna pop up, what's gonna do this. If you gonna cross the line, cross the fucking line. Otherwise, get the fuck out of here. That's it. Run.
Please, forgive me for the time that I did. And bring his gift, have your respect to your apprentice.
Nosotros somos una nación. Nosotros somos la misma gente. Nosotros
mundo sepa que nuestros hermanos negros y hermanos moranos ya no estarán separados, pero se unirán para hacer grandes cosas por todas las 12 tribus peredas de Israel. Kwam Yasha'al.